ate some broccoli before we went live. Guys, do you want to know what kind of day I'm having? I haven't told anybody this story. This morning, after my older son went out of school, and I got the little one ready, and then I went and got dressed, and I put my contacts in, and I was like, "What is wrong with my vision? Are my contacts not seeing? Everything is weird and blurry." And I'm like, "Did I suddenly develop glaucoma? What is going on?" And then I paused, and I moved the contact, and I realized I could see perfectly because I had already put my contacts in. I put in 2 pairs of contacts today. That's how out of it I'm at. So, prepare for that kind of D&D. Please don't weaponize it, because I will come for you next week when I'm sharp.
Aaron, over between Monday and Tuesday, I drove for 18 hours. I'm not throwing anything. I may limply toss something, but I ain't throwing anything. Yeah, road trips are fun. They're long.
That is a lot of driving.
Yeah, I did 7 hour, 7.5 hours solo yesterday. I came back from San Jose down to Southern California, and that was, oh boy. Surprisingly though, I didn't hit any damn traffic. I hit this perfect window of time where San Jose was like, we're all going to work the other way, and then I got in. I had to take that long stretch of the 5, so by the time I got to LA, everyone was at lunch, and not on the road. So that was nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I got into a new podcast, so
Cool.
No, I'm not working on. I'm not doing another. I'm not doing that. I started listening to another podcast.
Okay. I had a conversation with somebody, Kate Aaron, where she came back from a writing retreat, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I finished 5 novels," and I totally believed it was ones she had half written, and she wrote the rest of them. She meant that reading them for pleasure.
I'm gonna be honest. That's still impressive to me.
Well, so she has a habit of reading things to about 80%, and then when she sees that they're not going to quite stick the landing, she sort of wanders off. So
I appreciate this.
I fully believed that she had 5 manuscripts ready after that.
James Patterson up in here, Jesus.
She is stupid fast.
That's wild.
Just to be clear, it's not I feel like if I said that, you'd be like, "Oh, you read 5 books. That's cool." But if Kate says it, you're like, "Did you write them? Please don't tell me you wrote them."
That's wild. Oh boy. Yeah, my brain's mush. I don't know what to say now.
Well, I mean, all I got is I don't know if y'all have watched Red Dwarf, but Rimmer's Risk story of attempting to get housewares. I don't know. I'll see if the chat recognizes the
Red Dwarf is one of those things that I'm like, I know I should have watched by now, but I haven't.
So Rimmer watched it on broadcast PBS, so it's spotty. I've seen some stuff.
Yeah, Rimmer is a uptight asshole. And there's at one point where he's telling a story of the time he played Risk, the board game. And it's like, well, so then I rolled a 5 and a 7, and I advanced 2 places, and then I rolled a 1 and a 3. So then I didn't advance that turn, but then the next turn I rolled it. There's this whole story. And so I feel like my In Search of Housewares is very so then the movers broke the shades on my lamps, and then I ordered new ones, and then they arrived and they were out in the rain, but then I found the inner box, it was the outer box that got wet, and then the inner box was fine, but then one of them, because I got 2, tinkled when I picked it up. So that one's going back to Target tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
So this is my life.
Fun
Did
times.
anybody do anything fun for Halloween? We went trick-or-treating. My son went trick-or-treat. My older son went off and trick-or-treated with his friends. Without us, which was exciting. my little son went to more houses than he's ever gone to before. He dressed as Dipper from Gravity Falls, and I dressed as Mabel.
I saw the photo and it lit up, and that made me so happy. Mabel's my favorite character on that show.
She's delightful. Yang Yang, I can't move this mic closer without it being in front of my face.
Could
Can
you
the game
check
be
if
turned up?
you're using that mic?
What's a good
Can you tap
question?
it? Can you tap the mic?
Yeah,
I
that's
hear
it.
that. Yeah.
Can you turn the gain up on the back?
I did. I've turned it up a bunch.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I turn
It
up
could be
even more.
Zoom.
Here's even
Could
more.
be.
Here's the gainiest gain.
The gainiest of gains. This Mike's just walking through here like this. Just can't get through doors.
Yeah.
Well, so now we can't hear you, so that makes me think it must be Zoom, like being like, that is too loud.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
no,
hear
we
you at
can't
all.
hear you.
Nope.
Unless you're playing, unless you're really good at lip syncing and you're playing a prank on us.
That would be impressive.
Okay.
There
Other
we go.
possibility. I turned the gain the wrong way.
Oh.
'Cause the mic is upside down and it's on the back.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
better.
so
Is that
much better,
better?
actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Somewhere
Mystery
in the
solved.
adjustment process, I started turning it the wrong way.
Well, to answer your original question, I was way too freaking tired. I had candy. I had the little Pokemon Halloween card packs ready to go for the kids. I was so exhausted that I'm like, I am laying in bed. I'm playing Super Mario that I just bought on my Switch, and I'm listening to that new podcast on my TV. And I just snuggled in like that. What about y'all? Y'all do any other fun things?
I helped with the haunted house. It was themed like a happy trail. So, I was like a friendly park ranger, like, hey kids, welcome in. And I would tell them like fake animal facts. Like, oh, we've got a species of birds where like when it's really happy and really full of food, it likes to make a bird call that sounds like human screaming. So that's to like mask like the prior people that went in and were like screaming.
That's so good.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Oh man.
They went all out. Like they bought a bunch of fake webbing and turned the trail in the woods behind their backyard into like a spider tunnel, complete with like spider
Ugh.
drops and
No,
spider
thank you.
pop outs.
Hard pass.
And they had one person dressed up as a werewolf and was lurking in a hole to like pop up at people from like under a pile of leaves and sticks. Like you just can't see it from the path at all. And
Love it.
another person dressed up as like a huge hulking bear and was hidden, and there was like a plant in every group, and they would rise up, pick up the plant, and maul the plant to death in front of everybody else.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's super good.
But you said that at first. I thought there was like a potted plant.
Just like
Don't
a little
worry.
delicate, pretty flower.
If you're
This is
feeling
all-
too scared, just hug the plant.
this will only resonate, I think, for the parents among you, but very much that episode of Bluey, the sleepover, when Muffin gets angry and attacks the plant. This is what I was picturing. Sorry.
No worries. And I just wanted to say, like, most of the children loved it. Like, all of them were like shrieking, but they were like, more. But there was one child that had to be carried out of the trail by their parents,
Oh no.
and their parents kept
Good.
laughing, and they kept being like, "This is perfect," and taking pictures of their child.
Oh, I hate that I laughed there too, but I'm like, yeah, I worked at a haunted house. Like that's the goal there, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. And there's always that one group. Yep.
Oh man. What about you, Rhiannon? Did you do anything for Halloween?
Nope, not a thing.
There you go. Aaron, between what you talked about in the haunted house, though, it did remind me. My friends and I did our yearly horror night. I have to say it very carefully because people think I'm saying something else when I'm saying that. Horror night. And one of the movies that we watched was Talk to Me. Because a bunch of us had heard that it was really good. None of us were aware that it took place in Australia, though. And one of my friends goes, okay, I'm going to need at least 3 Bluey references in this film or it's getting an F.
did it do?
Ah.
No Bluey references. Was it a good movie?
Oh, it did no Bluey references whatsoever. The movie, I know people really liked it. I thought it was just okay. The ending was really good though. That's the surprising thing. Like the last 5 minutes of it, I'm like, this was cool. This was awesome. Where were you the rest of the film? We also watched Barbarian.
Oh, I love that movie.
I hadn't seen it, and like I'd been told, like everyone told me, like if you cannot get spoiled on that movie, do your best not to. And so I didn't. I loved it. Fan freaking tastic. We'll probably watch it for several Halloweens from here on out. But yeah, I fully recommend that one.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about without giving away some spoilers to it.
It really is. It really, really is.
I feel like you could spoil me and Rhiannon just fine, but then there's the chat.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I am like, I'm gonna go look this up later.
I guess all I will say is that like it's not purely horror and jump scares and like things like that. There's a lot of like intelligent things to it, and it's surprisingly kind of funny at parts.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. There was a whole section of the movie where the entire room was just busting up laughing constantly, and I bet you know exactly what that is.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The writer is a comedy writer, I believe, and it was his first horror movie. And so he's really good at like both building up tension and then like breaking tension and then like establishing characters and then creating characters that are like counter to that.
I now get the format of that movie so much better now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Oh boy.
I just want to quickly add, welcome back, Meyer Doug. Meyer Doug is one of our long-standing moderators and community members, and he was absent for a while, but I see that he's in the chat. Welcome back!
Welcome back! Woo!
We missed you!
Bookish Barbarian says horror comedy is such a good combo. Fully agree. Oh, that was another one. Was while we were in between movies, we were talking about other horror movies we'd seen recently, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, I saw The Menu recently." I'm like, "That movie is fantastic. It's a great horror movie, and if you worked in the service industry, an even better dark comedy."
yeah, totally. I've heard my friends say that too, actually. Like the rest of us look at it like horror, and then people who work in the service industry, it's like strangely cathartic.
So Tara and I both worked in the service industry for a while, and we put on that movie one night because we'd heard good things, and like 20 minutes into it, we were like starting to chuckle at things and laugh at things, and then we got like 3/4 of the way through, and we were like, Are we bad people? Like, I heard this was a horror movie, and we are laughing at this. Like, there are people who are considered villains that I'm like, nah, I'm on their side on this. Very good one though.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm loving Anya Taylor-Joy and stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Did you see Last Night in Soho?
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Is that good? I thought about
Real
watching
good.
that on the plane
Real
when
good.
I was flying, and here's the question: will I like it?
I think you will, because it's not as horror driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of trippy, and there's like a mystery about things.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I tell you what I watched instead?
Yeah, what did you watch?
I watched a whole season of Los Spookies. Have you seen Los Spookies?
What is this? I'm looking this up.
So it is this show. It's on HBO, which is like the one streaming service we don't have. And it's about this group of like 20 somethings in Mexico, and what they do is basically create sort of visual effects for things, but it will be something like one of the episodes was like this teacher, the kids were obsessed with this character that was like a little naughty monster, and she's like, I need you to make a good monster. I'm going to find an egg, and out of the egg is going to hatch this good monster, and he's going to do everything right. But then one day he's going to talk back to me. And when he talks back to me, he's going to start choking and drown on his own blood. And the children will learn, right? Like, so it's like people who have some insane problem, and they come to these guys to try and solve it. One of the first season episodes was like a priest who was like, the cool young priest was getting all the attention. He's like, I need to do an exorcism. Can you guys help me do an exorcism? So it is just a lot of nonsense.
I'm
just
into
the
this.
characters are very funny.
Also, Fred Armisen's in it, so like I'm
Fred
sold.
Armisen. Here's the
that's
thing.
good.
Fred Armisen is like, in my opinion, the least good part of it.
Oh wow.
Okay.
He
is
shows up
great.
and it's like, oh, we're back to Uncle Tico. Okay. He's fine.
I don't know what it like. My wife has the same reaction to Fred Armisen, where like just in general, like he shows up, she's like, okay, we're just gonna do some weird shit for a while, and I'm just like, yay, Fred Armisen.
It's mostly that I like the core characters so much that when we switch over to Uncle Tico, it's like, no, go back to the other ones. I want to know what absolute nonsense Tati's gonna get up to.
I'm gonna add this to my list. This sounds great. Oh,
Bookish
shit.
Barbarian knows where it's at.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
some
it
point
sounds
we
great.
had like a family vacation, and my sister like they brought their maybe their Switch or something, because they have the HBO. They're like, this is why you need HBO Max. And we watched some Barry, and we watched
Ooh, Barry.
some Avenue Q. Is it no? What is it?
Avenue
It's one
Q's
of
the
those spaceship-
puppet one.
No, it's a spaceship that gets lost.
Oh, yeah, the one with
And
house.
Avenue 5.
Hugh
It's
Laurie.
Avenue
There we go.
5. Yeah. And those are spookies. And I was like, we need HBO now. And then, then they've only had other good stuff since then. But those are the kinds of shows I like. It's very absurd.
Yeah, HBO's been consistently good for me. I love like most of the original series. For me, I think like a very specific one. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it, but I really love. I think his name is Nathan Peterson, and he does Nathan for
Nathan
You.
Fielder.
Nathan Fielder, yeah. He
Yeah.
does Nathan for You.
The rehearsal.
Yes. And he just did The Rehearsal on HBO, which I thought was so fascinating and so brilliant. And it was kind of like a meta commentary about like reality TV. So
That is a show that I can't tell you how many times during an episode I said, this has to be scripted.
yeah,
There's no way this is not scripted.
yeah.
And then something would happen. I'm like, there's no way that's scripted. What is happening? Yeah, that is a wild show.
Yeah, so like the opening premise of it is like this guy he's really uncomfortable in real life, and he has a lot of big decisions to make with his life and big changes. And
Yeah.
so in order to make himself feel comfortable, he decides to hold like rehearsals of the moments. So, he rehearses. I think like the first one is like a family, like raising a family with like a kid. So he has
No,
like,
that's the second one.
that's the second. What's the first one?
The first one is the guy that wants to admit to what was it that he was admitting? He was admitting something to a friend. Oh, he's in a trivia group and all of them have their doctorates, and he once lied that he did too. He doesn't.
Yes.
And so he wanted to come clean to one of the people about it, but worried that she would take it badly. So-
Yeah.
This show opens
Fascinating.
up with this dude like Nathan Fielder showing up at his house. They go through this whole rigmarole, showing him around the apartment and everything. And then they sit down and he's just like, so here's the thing. I've rehearsed this entire conversation we're having. I've rehearsed everything since I came in through that door. Remember when there was a gas leak in your building 2 weeks ago and people came in to make sure it was fine? That was my team, and we
Yeah.
completely rebuilt your apartment in a studio, and I hired an actor to play you.
yeah. So
And
he's,
they re- yeah.
he's helping somebody else with their social awkwardness
Uh-huh.
through rehearsals. And during the process of that, he feels too awkward, so he has to rehearse the process of him helping this person to rehearse, and then it just spirals out of control from there.
Like it feels like a skit from I Think You Should Leave,
Yeah,
but it's a whole show. Like it's a whole season.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the most interesting things about it is like clearly, so like the thing is when we watch a lot of reality shows, especially when there's a host, most of us have this idea that the host is playing like a character or a role. And so like where does Nathan himself, like where does his character and his host role end, and where does his actual person and actual wants begin? And I think that that's actually one of the most interesting underlying like subtle character journeys and progressions and studies that I've seen in almost like any media. So I do highly recommend it, but it does have a lot of like cringe based humor.
Yeah, if you can't do cringe comedy, don't do it. Like
Yeah, don't do
I'm even borderline, like I had to nope out of the second episode. Like I can't, this is too uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, and I love that stuff. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah. And I still enjoyed the show, but there was just some where I'm like, I gotta start fast forwarding. I can't sit in this. Oh boy.
Hold on one second. I just need to check something on the back end.
What's up?
All right. This is sort of prepping for today, and it's a little spoilery, but I had to Google. I'll tell you. You know what? I'll put it in the Discord afterwards.
Okay.
Because I had to Google something, and it wasn't sure what I would get, and it got a lot of answers. A lot. I thought I would not find an answer. I got a lot of answers.
Google was like, we got you, but more than
Yeah.
you need.
Now my search history is kind of a problem.
Here's a funny thing about my ADHD and hyperfocus from yesterday. So the podcast that I started listening to, my sister's been recommending this show for so long, and I finally was like, it's Halloween, I want to listen to something spooky. So I started listening to Old Gods of Appalachia, and I got super into it, binged the entire first season on the road, and then I was like, wait, didn't they turn this into a tabletop RPG?
They did.
And I literally stopped on the way home and bought the book. I was like, well, the way I'm coming into town, that game store is right on the way. I mean, like, it wouldn't be that bad. So my sister is extremely thrilled because not only am I super into the show, but I bought the game. She's like, I want to play. Very, very good horror stuff.
Have you read the book rules at all? Like, what is the experience?
So it's built on the Cypher system from Monty Cook Games.
Nice.
And I hadn't done too much with that. Like I remember checking out Numenera, the first edition they did of it. And it's kind of like that where the DM is not rolling a single thing. All dice rolls are, most of them are just completely flat D20 rolls, but you're affecting what the difficulty of that roll is. So like if you're good at something, instead of saying, oh, I add +4 to that, you'd say, oh, I'm a specialist, so I actually get to decrease the difficulty by 2. So instead of going for a 15, I might be going for a 9 or something like that. And if you roll a nat 1, then the DM like introduces like a new difficulty into the game. But they can also do this at any time, where they can just impose a new obstacle or new challenge for the player. But when they do that, they in exchange give that player 2 experience points, and then the player takes 1 of the XP and then gives that second XP to one of the other players for a specific reason. And I thought that was really a cool way of doing it. And then you can actually start battling with that, because the DM could go, I'm going to introduce this, and that player can take 1 of their XP and go, no, you are not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but that's also how you get better at like being a character and stuff like that. So it's like, do I want to to stop this, or do I want to hold on? It sounds like a pretty cool system for a horror game to have.
Hmm.
It's like, no, I really don't want another monster to show up, but also I'd like to level up.
Yeah. Oh
Played
man,
an Invisible Sun game for a while. which
Oh, I
is
wanna
based off
play
the same
the-
system.
The Kickstarter came out again, or the backer
I
kit for
know.
the cube, and I'm like, I don't have the money to do that, but I want it so bad. I almost did it the first time it happened.
It's interesting because I found playing it is not for me. But I
Okay.
think I might like DMing it.
I get that. I get that.
'Cause the thing I found was that and it might have been the person who was running it just has a style that I think she also admitted she thinks she's not great for DMing. But I would want to do things or establish things about my character, and she'd be like, "You can't do that." Actually, I managed to find the things you can't do, which is like incredibly narrow. Like it's sort of like you could be anything. I'm like, I want to be. I think my first character suggestion was a bejeweled skeleton. I was like, but not that. You could eventually be that. I'm like, okay, fine. I want to be a person who is like literally full of demons. Well, demons don't work that way. You can't be that. So it got a little
Okay.
frustrated.
Okay.
But
could you start off as like a bedazzled skeleton and then upgrade your jewels as you like level up?
so basically, like, there's a lot of in the world of Invisible Sun, because the premise is like you lived in this world, which is Shadow, and then you were sort of brought back to man, I forgot the name of the world. But you brought back to the world of Invisible Sun, and so like this is the real world, right?
Surrealism, the game.
Yeah, and so you can kind of do whatever. Like at one point, my character was cursed, and her face turned into smoke. And we had to figure out how we all knew each other, and we decided that we all went to the same CrossFit gym, which was my brother-in-law's CrossFit gym that was haunted by the ghosts of his family of luchador wrestlers. And then we would go down the
This
street.
immediately got more wild and less serious.
Right. We went down this. We had our neighbor was a demon that controlled a parking lot and would not let anybody park there or anything touch the parking lot. He was fine once you got to know him. And we would go to the bar down the street, which was called the Cephalopub, and was run by a biker gang that rode on squid motorcycles.
That's amazing.
It is a lot of you make up whatever. And then there are just like a couple of like things that the DM knows about the world, and I managed to hit all of them. Like once you're in the world, you can like sort of like augment your appearance. So again, they could become a bejeweled skeleton, but as a like introductory character who's just returned from Shadow. And the idea is very much that you're in this place and you don't know this place and you're figuring it out. Which I like a character I can anchor into the setting, and it is not expecting that. But it is fun for DMs to tell a nonsense story in collaboration with the players, which is my favorite.
Is it the type of game that you can only
We're
play
at
once?
time, aren't we, Yang Yang?
Yeah,
Are
we've
you
got about
asking
2
more questions?
minutes. Yeah, we got about 2 minutes, but I'm
No.
just super curious. That's all.
You
Just
can
want to know
play
the
it a bunch.
answer.
Yeah, you can play it a bunch.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay, we're going to
D&D,
break.
right?
We'll be back in a minute. Bye.